Pip? It's me, Coach RX, back with another video here. We're here to talk about what you saw in the title. Sorry for all the loud noise. I'm outside and trying to make a little cinematic video. We're talking about semen retention, and it's an important topic for men in today's world because we are accustomed to seeing a lot of provocative, sexual explicit material at all times. So it's important for us to discipline ourselves in that regard. But I want to talk about a little bit about my journey on semen retention before I get into just the topic in general, so you have something to relate to. I learned about semen retention when I was 18. Now I'm 20, which sounds kind of old. Oh my god! But I learned about it when I was 18. I started doing it around 19. I got mollywopped by girls, and then that sounds crazy, but you kind of get what I mean. College is crazy, but mollywop, and then now 20 turning 21, I'm starting to really get back into it. I went on a 2-week streak a couple days before I relapsed, and then I don't know, I felt very convicted. I felt very not even ashamed or sad about it, but just very convicted to do better and to not even allow that into my life anymore. So I want to create a 30-day challenge starting today, where I make a video every day and I also document my semen retention journey. So this might be like day 1, how semen retention did this and this. You know what I mean? So that's just what I wanted to say before. And if you can relate to anything I'm saying right now, and if you went on a semen retention journey before, I want you to say that in the comments. I want you to drop that in the comments and say, oh, what have you done? Right? How did it go? What did you experience? And make sure you like and subscribe, because we're trying to get to 100 subscribers. So what I want the topic of the video is how semen retention can affect your health, fitness, and trading. So for those who don't know, I'm a day trader. I trade on the NAS futures, and I've noticed that semen retention affects my trading. So semen retention isn't only for your spirituality, getting closer with God. It is for that. That's a good ass reason to do semen retention. You get me? It's a good reason to meditate. It's a good reason to pray, right? But semen retention also has effects in your everyday life. If you don't know, if you haven't done it before, you wouldn't notice. But it has effects within your trading. So if you're a gooner, I hate that word, but if you're a gooner, right? And you're on TikTok seeing people trading and you want to do it, that's the first thing that has to go, because your habits that affect your trading are within your daily life. So we're gonna go over trading first. So I'm looking at my notes here. So when you're on semen retention, it affects your mental clarity, right? When you're not fogging your brain with a lot of these things that don't give us any sort of satisfaction other than sensual. You're fogging your brain, you're fucking up your dopamine receptors, you're fucking up your gray matter. You know, you're doing a lot of damage to your brain unintentionally. So it's messing up how you're going to see the market. It's going to disrupt your impulse control. There's a lot of different things where you may not understand, and it might be unconscious to you, but you're doing it to yourself, right? If you're using a conscious behavior and trying to apply other things consciously, that unconscious behavior is always going to trump the conscious one. So it's always going to affect you in a negative way. And if you're depleting yourself of energy, it's going to affect you negatively, right? To be precise and be a sniper, that's what you're saying. Be a sniper in the markets, be precise in the markets. You need to have mental clarity. You need to have a form of discipline that trumps everything that you're doing, so that you can do it effectively. So that's the first thing. Trading. You need to stop this shit. If you want to be a disciplined, a profitable trader, this has to go, right? And I'm here to help. I'm here to be with the journey with you. So if you need anything, you can book a one-on-one with me. Down in the description, it's free, there's no charge, and we can talk, okay? But the next thing is fitness, and that's energy and recovery. So if you don't know, if you're new to the channel, I'm also a fitness coach. I've ran track in college, D1 track. I've coached some people, 2 to 3 people that lost 30 pounds in like 4 months. So I know a little bit about fitness and health. And what I want to say about that regard is just energy and recovery, right? When you're depleting yourself consistently, you are not allowing yourself to be rejuvenated and recover faster, right? I've noticed when I have relapses or I have certain things that happen, I lose sleep, or I get restless, or I want to eat way more, or I want to do stupid habits, right? Maybe smoke, maybe drink, right? You're allowing low vibrational entities into you, which will then fuck up your whole journey throughout fitness, right? You relapse, you want to eat, you go over your calorie intake, and now you're gaining weight. Well, let's say you relapse, you don't want to go to the gym, you don't go to the gym, and now you're not getting gains, right? There's certain things to this which inhibit your consistency, and that's the main thing with this semen retention thing. It's just consistency, right? And if you're not consistent with fitness, it won't work. So that's fitness. The next one is health, focus, and hormonal balance. Oh my God, there's a squirrel, bro. Health, focus, and hormonal balance. So it's very important for your hormones to be balanced for you to get muscle mass, right? You need to have balanced hormones. And especially if you want to looks max, do what these people call looks maxing, whatever that is. Like, if you want to do that, your hormones need to be balanced, and they need to be maxed. You need to be testosterone masking, bro. That's what you need to be doing, right? And semen retention is basically doing that and providing your body with homeostasis for that reason. So it's very important. And the focus aspect is the same thing low-key with fitness, but just imagine mental clarity, imagine consistency, and imagine you having a clear conscience about everything that you're doing. And there's no guilt, there's no shame behind anything, but it's just a pure, unadulterated conscious, right? So that was the last thing I wanted to talk about. I really just wanted to make a video, but this is day 1 of day 30 of the semen retention journey that I'm doing on this channel, and this is the first video on Gabe.rx. I'll be going over some trading things, some fitness things, and if you're interested in that, you can contact me on link below. All my socials are below, and I'll see you in the next video.